We hear Therapy Without a Degree. Chapter, I think this is chapter 309. 309 episodes of this damn
309 different things to talk about. It's crazy.
It's wild.
The list can go on and on and on.
There's some people that have been really potting for a long time. Shout out to our mutual friend, Rachel. How many episodes is she on?
Rachel, she's an OG. She's been on the mic since before there was podcasts. Rachel La Loca, shout out.
Shout out to her.
Shout out Rachel.
But we here, yo. You guys already know Joe Fiorino is in the studio. Then we got two very special guests, right? Double guest episode. Well, actually, I don't really know if you can call Ramona really a guest anymore because this is, what, number 3?
This is my third time here.
Third time? Yeah. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm a third timer.
And then we got Julie in the building.
What's up, guys?
What's up, yo?
First pod.
First pod ever.
Ever.
Right?
Ever been on a mic?
Yeah, I've never been on a pod.
Okay. All right.
What summer pod? Do you listen to any pods?
No, but low key, my dad was trying to tell me to listen to Joel Osteen, and I did like a little bit, but like to go to sleep, so I wasn't really listening.
Damn, disrespectful.
But it's a thing, like listening to certain podcasts to put you to sleep, right?
Wait, I lied. There is a podcast I listened to. Oh my God, it was so much drama about like. Okay, there's this girl and this guy. Her name is Caitlin Reagan, and she lost her. May he rest in peace. Her boyfriend took cancer, and she started a podcast about mental health. And that was the first podcast I ever listened to. I forgot what it was called. It was like Rainy Days or something. But yeah, I did listen to that podcast.
Did it start with that Ja Rule song? Shine on me. No. Okay. Y'all know the song? Or am I the only one? Okay. Rainy Days. All right. Sorry.
Rest in peace to Irv.
Irv. Oh, yeah. Irv Gotti passed away.
I'm just saying, Ja,
Yeah.
Murder.
Okay.
And you listen to therapy.
Yeah.
You listen to our episodes, as we were saying before this, shout out to Walter, rest in peace to Walter. He'd be very proud right now.
Yeah.
You on. And also you just, working now with Jersey Media. This is it. This is going to be all episodes of Therapy Without a Degree. It's going to be different people that work for Jersey Media. That's just it. And that's going to be the hosts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's going to be it.
I love that, yeah.
But, y'all been rocking with us. Y'all been killing it. And we've been getting ready to pod now. It's like, a long day, and then you just get to relax, come on the mic, and just talk some shit.
Yeah. I think it's very soothing, too. Like, when I'm behind the scenes listening, I'm like, wait, don't end. There's more.
Yeah, no, but you've also been getting lucky. We've been doing shorter episodes lately.
Oh, really?
Usually do an hour or more. I actually like long pods.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to do it to all y'all. Eventually.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Yeah.
When I could pay you guys a little more, 3-hour podcasts.
You have, what is the audacity to have a 3-hour podcast for some people?
Yeah.
Like, I see a podcast, I'm like, 3 hours, just the same voices. That's a lot. It's a lot for me. Like, you're not respecting people's time. You know what I mean? But I don't know. That's just my take. Like,
Do you listen to any long pods?
I listen to very like niche, like I listen to what do you call it? Double Toasted. They just review movies, so I like reviewing movies. I like stuff on that. But like people that just shoot the shit, it's like, wow, man, you guys have to be really interesting to shoot the shit for 3 hours. I'm not saying that you're not interesting,
Of course.
but I'm talking about like Andrew Schultz, where I'm like by 30 minutes in, I'm like, okay, guys, like y'all talking over each other and just laughing at your own jokes, and it's just
I don't even know if I could do it. I just enjoy. I don't know if I can. I mean, the longest I've probably done is a little over 2 hours, I think.
Okay.
But was it like a deep conversation? Oh, you don't remember?
Well, no. See, actually, the way I used to do it, it's easier when you go multiple topics.
Right.
So, like, now we do like 1 or 2 topics and that shit ends quick.
Yeah.
I used to do like 4 topics in one episode, completely different topics. So, you know, you got to think 30 minutes a pop, you know. But I don't know. I listen to pods every day, and actually, people don't believe it, but I actually, because I don't watch no movies or TV, I just listen to pods, and I don't watch them because I just, when I'm like on my laptop, I just have them in the back.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm listening to 5 hours a pod a day.
Wow.
Or
So
4 to 5.
So who's your top podcast besides Joe Budden, of
Yeah,
course?
y'all know. Yeah. The Secret to Success podcast by Eric Thomas. I'm into like all the motivational ones, like
Mel Robbins. You like Mel Robbins?
No, I never got into
My
that
wife.
one.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Mel Robbins fanatic. You don't know Mel Robbins?
No,
Is that Tony's?
She's like right under Rogan right now.
I think I'm gonna have to go home and do some research.
Yeah, do some pod
Yeah.
research.
Yeah.
But every one is for different reasons. Like the Budden pod, that's really just current events
Yeah.
and like industry. I like how they get into like like we were always talking about like the industry stuff or like the behind the scenes, the business. You
That's
know?
the stuff I listen to. The Town, my favorite podcast.
What is that?
The Town is just like this Hollywood reporter, Matt Labaugh, whatever. And then he just literally goes through all the industry news of Hollywood. Not like, oh, did you see that movie, such and such? No, it's like more like, you know, what's Netflix doing right now? Who's making the power moves in streaming? Who's
like
winning
that.
in streaming? Who's like, what movie studio is actually on top? Which one is struggling? It's like really business focused in Hollywood.
Yeah, you might have just put me on.
Yeah, no, it's very good. It's just like they really are laser focused on Hollywood reporting,
Like the behind, but like the business.
business side of it. Who owns, like, who just bought Paramount?
Yeah, that's
you know,
fire. I love that.
Skydance. You know, like stuff like that.
That's actually why I always, because Joe Budden gets into that a lot. Certain moments he does, because there's always a lot of like hip hop or like media or like current event stuff. But when they get in, I listen just for them to get into that bag.
Yeah,
Because they, you know, it's like there's not many people who talk about those things very just like authentic and just real. But when you come on a pod and you're just shooting the shit and you're giving up all the business tea, you
Right.
start learning that type of stuff.
it was like reading the Source magazine back then.
Yeah.
But now it's a podcast. You know what I mean? Because that's what I would get excited about. Source magazine was reading about the music industry.
Yeah. All the games they be playing.
Yeah.
But and pods for like your generation are like very different.
I wouldn't know.
Well,
Well, like, there's sometimes, like, on social media, like, people will, I guess, put clips of it, and I'd get, like, a little interested in the mini clips, but my attention span is so short that, like, if it's not getting to the point, I will skip through it to get to the point. But then I realized, like, podcasts, like, it's not really getting to a point of anything. Like, it's just a flow conversation. So I don't know. I have to really, like, put mind to it because, for example, like, people can release YouTube videos of explaining something that happened. All right, I really don't want to listen to the current events. Like, just tell me what happened. But with podcasts, it's more of like, no, like, you're talking about like real life stuff. Like, you have to listen to it. You can't just get to the point because they're really, the whole thing is the point.
you know what's interesting about your generation and actually what I've been learning from Jaylene, and it makes perfect sense. Like we didn't grow up with YouTubers. Like we didn't watch YouTubers. You guys' generation watched YouTubers. So now like it was pretty crazy. Like, you know, I was with Jaylene and we're watching, you know, YouTube and stuff. And she's showing me YouTubers that she would watch when she was young that was just doing YouTube. Now they're older. So now what do they got to do? Podcasts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're switching their whole, and if you look at these kids' channels, it's pretty cool actually to go watch because you're going back and you see them doing content, just messing around because they're a little, you know, maybe like in their mid 20s, but they were doing it for like, you know, kids couple like 6 years younger than them or whatever. Now you see them trying to whole revert and change their whole content.
Because they're trying to follow us as we grow.
Yep.
But, like, going back, like, my generation with YouTube, like, I used to pay money and wait in line to meet these YouTubers. Like, they influenced my life so much that I would sit there for hours watching their channel and I waited in line for 12 hours to meet YouTubers. Like, I would go to their tours and everything to meet them because they influenced my life so much. And now it's like they're trying to follow us up, like you said, going into pods. But my generation kind of is like stuck on the fact of like social media and visually like looking at things and like watching the clips, like reels are like 15 seconds. And then we're like, okay, cool. And we skip to the next one. Like my generation, I've noticed like not many teenagers, kids, or even me, like I'm in my 20s, can sit down and watch like a whole episode of something.
Yeah, like their numbers are dropping.
Yeah.
I love like numbers and shit. And
So, question:
yeah.
who's Netflix's biggest competition? YouTube.
YouTube. Oh, okay.
Is the top streaming service. Who is
thought I would've-
YouTube's competition?
TikTok.
TikTok.
Yeah.
So this next generation is like, let's get to the point.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, that's what I was saying. Like, I
Yeah.
literally, like, there was, like celebrity drama. Love it. But I don't care about what happened in the meantime. Just tell me what happened. Like, honestly.
Get
Like,
to the
I just want to know why you guys broke up.
I just want to read the end of the book.
Yeah.
Just give me the end of the chapter, the last chapter. That's it.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So you actually had a pod topic. believe it or
Yeah.
not.
So today I was talking to Amanda. She's an intern here with Jersey Media. We were talking about being open-minded because I just graduated college. She's finishing college. Thank you. And we were talking about, while being in college, how many friends we lost because of people not being open-minded about other people's personal lives, beliefs, like stuff like that. So I was just like, my generation is obviously different than your generation. My generation is full of very judgmental individuals who like to talk back instead of being, let me hear your side. Let me know why you feel upset about that, or like what made you upset about that. No, my generation is straight up like pointing fingers at you and like being like, we're not friends anymore. Like, and it's like, I personally, if you're not friends with me because of what I like and what I don't like, then that's your loss. But at the same time, like, why are we not open-minded nowadays? Like, why is the world so like full of judgmental and hate around like what people like and enjoy? Like, this goes for anything, like music, like I was saying, like religion. I get like politics is the biggest one. Like, it's like so crazy that the hate is so like controlling around everyone.
I think it has a lot to do with this. I think it's a bigger thing about the 1% that keeps us divided. So if we're all on the same page about something, it makes us like such a powerful movement, like one body of people. But specifically because of politics, divisiveness is what keeps people from like, overpowering, that 1%. But now it's seeped even into like music and movies. Like I like Superman movies, but then I go on Twitter and there's people that are like that are just like hardcore Zack Snyder fans and F James Gunn and his Superman because that's crap and this one's cooking or that one's not cooking, and you just can't like both. You know what I mean? Or you can't just be like, all right, well, I mean, I like Superman, right? But why is it now? It's like the only thing that gets clicks and gets people attention now is if there's an opposition, and that's just, it seems like it started in politics and now it's seeping into pop culture and movies and religion, and it's just like, yo, you could just like different things and not fight about it. You just be like, all right, that's your bag, but it's not my bag. And you move on. But the only thing that's getting clicks is division. And that's carrying over into real life relationships.
Well, like we were talking about before when I was like about Kendrick Lamar and the Drake beef.
Right.
I like both. I like both music.
Yeah.
But you say that to some people no, you have to choose one. Oh, you like Kendrick Lamar? We can't talk to each other. That's insane.
Yeah.
Like, that's actually insane. Like, I could like the color purple and somebody won't be friends. Like, there's people out there like that.
Yeah, and I do think that's like more of a younger generation.
Yeah.
Because
The old people started it.
You think so?
Oh, yes. 100%. 100%. I think that, again, it started in politics and it just seeped into every other part of our lives.
I definitely could see how that you're right with that, because I do think it stemmed from a lot of politics, and I also think that like the internet plays a big play in it too, because before the internet, people were like very opinionated, but they didn't really express themselves too much, or they didn't really get to see, I think, other people's expressions. So I think with the internet and with everything now, especially like political stuff, and maybe this is just me, but like before the internet, I wouldn't even really see too much about politics unless you throw on the TV. And I've never really been a TV guy. Now it's like blast it on your phones, and then if you're even just a little interested in it, it's going to blast it even more.
Yeah.
And obviously, that with politics, that's a very one side or the other.
Yeah.
Like you're either this or you're that. Even with a lot of other things, you know, too, like religion, race, like all those like different things.
Yeah, like we're literally going back in time. Like obviously I just finished school, so I was around like a lot of history courses where we're talking about like, you know, back in the day where it's the North versus the South and how we want to change the world, but we're going back to that. Like
It really comforts me that someone in Gen Z is actually recognizing that history is repeating itself,
It
because
is.
a lot of people are not even paying attention to the things, or don't even bother to look into the things that happened in the 80s and the 90s, and seeing how some of the things, like some of that history is repeating itself. Like specifically, even just, I don't want to go too heavy into politics, but just specifically like Donald Trump taking the playbook from Ronald Reagan. And all you have to really do is look at the effects of Ronald Reagan and how that seeped into our lives now, and just seeing how the things that he's doing that's very similar and how it's going to continue. So like, it's like, just tap into the past and you will know where we're going if you just tap into the past. So that encourages me that you actually said that.
Now, with that, then how do you think? And I'm going to bring in Javi for this because this is his bag, actually. Especially when you start talking like the
I
politics.
saw the pod. I know
You saw him. You saw that little smile. So
yeah.
I'm going to sub him in, but I want maybe y'all could get into how do you think now that and being very one-sided affects mental health?
Yeah.
Oh, I can get into this.
Let's go, Javi.
Let's go, Javi. So in all honesty, like the one-sided thing. I was in school. I went to a very liberal school, and I was in a sorority. And even the little things, I can post something very nothing about like politics, religion, or whatever, and people will literally take what I post and create their own assumptions about me. And then, like, I'm gonna be so honest right now. Okay, I was in a sorority, and they went in very deep into social media. Found something within my family. This one girl was like, she is like ruining my mental health because her family supports this. I was like, that post is from 2016. I didn't even say anything in that post. Like, how is that my fault?
That's crazy.
And I literally got asked to leave a sorority because of it. So imagine 121 girls now looking at me like that over a post of 2016 that wasn't even under my name. It was under a family member's name. And now I had like this judgmental look like around me. One, didn't even ask any questions. Two, rumors were spreading like crazy. And three, I literally like during this past election, like people were commenting under my post, like bashing me that were in the sorority. And I'm like, is this allowed? Like I personally don't care. Say what you want to say, but like, is it really allowed that like you are taking so much from one little post that you said saying that I was disrespecting you? I didn't even know you in 2016. Like, literally, I got to college in 2021. And now, like, during the election, I literally lost 500 followers. And yeah, I lost 500 followers.
From something you posted in 2016?
Because they were like, so one of the girls edited it, changed it to my name, but they left the profile photo. That was clearly not me.
Damn.
And they were like reposting and saying like, she supports this, she supports that, she does this, she does that. And I didn't mention one thing about the election, like voting, nothing. I said I went out and voted. That's all I said. I literally posted my voting sticker and I said I voted. And other than that, I was getting tagged and tagged and tagged. And then my DMs were blowing up from girls in the sorority.
Yeah.
And I literally am over here and I'm like, you guys are all about like peace. Like when you rush an org in Greek life, you're not allowed to talk about religion. You're not allowed to talk about politics. You're not allowed to talk about your love life. Like nothing like that. But then when you get inside, everyone's judgmental. Like if you, I don't know, let's say, for example, once you get inside to the Greek life, everything, like your dirty laundry comes out. Not literally dirty laundry, but everything that you didn't say during rush is now coming out, and now you're being judged by that. Like so I went to school, I went to the College of New Jersey, which is South Jersey, and I'm from North Jersey. So obviously my culture is different from their culture. My whole freshman year, I was considered ghetto.
Wow.
Yeah, I was considered ghetto, and I wasn't allowed in certain cliques within that sorority. Like, I'm like talking about Greek life, but that's where I experienced it the most.
Yeah.
Like, anything rap music was like a sin over there.
Oh, jeez.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. Well, I mean, this is what I mean about how, like something that politics is now trickling into, like, your like I wouldn't talk about politics when I was in college. We didn't give a shit about politics. It was where we going tonight. That was it. What we smoking, what we drinking, with who, and who we going home with. That's like, but it's like this sucks.
That's how it started. It really started like that. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed being very independent in school. But then it got to the point where I didn't even want to show my face.
Wow.
I was blonde. My hair was blonde.
Man.
When all this happened, I did a whole identity change. I dyed my hair black. I literally barely went to class. If I did go to class, I was wearing like oversized clothes so nobody could notice me. Like it got so bad. I ended up like I would call my dad every day like crying. I'm like, I'm not going to survive here. Like I got to my rock bottom being at school. Like everyone was just pointing fingers at me for the wrong reasons. And even like with friend groups, like even if they were like talking shit, excuse my French, but talking shit about another friend group, and I'd call them out and they'll be like, you're like on their side now. No, I'm on a neutral side. That if you're going to talk about her, you better tell her. Like, don't talk about her and then be like, oh, we're best friends. Like, no, like literally one day we were sitting in the kitchen and something came up. They were both in front of each other. And I was like, I think you both need to talk about your personal like hatred for each other. And I just left the room.
So I have a question. You said that you were in a liberal college. Why would you say that?
So basically my college, I was like literally forced. I couldn't graduate unless I finished my liberal learning requirements. And when I say liberal learning requirements, I'm talking about like anything that had to do with like politics, but like there was classes that I had to sit through that taught me about like transgender, like women and I meant men who trans into women in women's sports.
Right.
Like I had to sit in a class like that and like express my emotions about that. Why am I forced to do that?
Yeah, you shouldn't have to do that. I'm a liberal, but I think that's insane. That's insane,
Like,
and I'm a liberal. You know what I mean? Like because it's like when you go to college, and this is probably why they're coming after colleges now because so one thing is that you have a lot of Republicans now that don't want colleges. They just think colleges is unnecessary now because it's forcing people to be liberal, which is insane, which I think is bullshit because they didn't do that to me when I was in college. It's like you should be able to just hit them with the facts and let people make up their own minds. But this idea that you are being forced to understand, to take on liberal ideologies like that's you proving the right that like why are you but I will say in the opposition of that most of these Republicans did go to college too. So it's like that's a lame excuse. But for her situation, that is crazy to me. Like I don't force my politics on anyone. Right. You know what I mean? I don't like radical right people that invade my DMs with like propaganda. I'm like, bro, we ain't following each other no more. I don't want to hear this. I don't want. Yeah. I don't ask like at 6 a.m. someone's sending me something about why Elon is not a Nazi. I'm like, bro, can I have my coffee first? Right. Like what the hell, Yeah. But it's like, I'm sorry that you had to go through that. That's insane to me because just because I'm a liberal, I'm not like since we met, I haven't talked to you about my politics at all. It's like, geez, this is my politics.
Was that a public college?
Yeah, so it is a public college, which most public colleges are labeled as liberal schools. Yeah. Which is fine, like I really don't care, but it's also like the professors take advantage of it. My grade, I was a criminology major, so politics are very much involved in my major. And I'm one to express my feelings if you ask me to. Like if you're asking the class like how you feel about this and I want a good grade, I'm going to talk in that class and express my feelings. Well, it did the opposite. It literally dropped my grade. Yeah. And I had to email my professor and I was like, this is strange because there was no assignment, and I literally went from an A to a C in the matter of an hour and 20-minute course. And he was like, he wrote me back, and he was like, meet me in my office, we'll have a conversation. And I wish till this day that I recorded this conversation, because of course he did it in person. And he said, don't ever disrespect me and my beliefs in my classroom ever again. And he was like, this is your warning. And I literally,
Therein lies the problem.
Yeah, that's a big problem.
I literally walked.
That's a big problem.
Now, who funds that public school?
Probably. Well, it depends. If it's a state school, the state,
Right.
and it's because this is a liberal state. So yeah,
you
but
get drowned out. You get
Yeah.
drowned out by bureaucracy. I mean,
yeah, that's awful. That's awful.
Yeah, that is really horrible, and that should be illegal.
Yeah,
That
I
also
agree.
should be illegal.
But I think that unfortunately, this is what I'm saying. Like, I think both sides have some very toxic people. Like, I
100%.
think, yeah, the birth of cancel culture came in because it was like, yo, let's put our black dollars, let's use it as a weapon towards racist companies, born racist companies. Like Chick-fil-A was anti this, then we won't buy Chick-fil-A. And that's it. And it went from that to, where does he work? Oh, he said the N-word? Get him fired. Let's get him fired. I'm like, whoa, bro. And then every action is a reaction to the extreme.
Right.
Like, what happened to her now is that now we're gonna get, the reaction is not gonna be, let's be more neutral. It's gonna be, no, we're gonna have either no colleges at all. We're not gonna help people fund colleges at all, versus, no, why don't you just, make it a law that colleges can impose, a certain view, give them the facts. And then that's my problem with that, is that every response is an extreme response versus like well, no, hold on, let's just fix the problem, not go, all right, no colleges at all. No, It's like same thing with guns. Like, I'm not a big fan of guns, but do I believe that someone can have a gun in their home? Yeah, I think that's fine. Have a gun in your home. Do I think that anyone, any age, can just go and purchase a gun? And it's like, no, I don't think that, I know many people that should not own guns.
No, but it's not about ownership. It's about ease of access. Specifically on the gun issue, like, people who want a gun are going to have a gun.
Yeah.
Like, they're not going to follow the rules, because before when they didn't have a gun, they weren't following the rules. So the gun is just going to empower them. But making legal loopholes, or like charging fees and making it more difficult for people who do follow the rules to get guns, it just makes the problem worse. Because, like, yes, I want to have a gun in my home, but I've been in a lot of situations where, and especially on social media, like, now everything is 100 times faster. Like, you can see like crazy ass shit online.
Yeah.
And it's like look at the PNB Rock situation, like how he got killed. Like, if he had a gun in that situation, you're a public figure. Okay, his girl might have made a mistake and posted his address or whatever. But if he had a gun on him as a public figure in that situation, maybe he would be alive right now.
True.
So how many thousands of people are in that same situation where they just get caught up in the wrong place at the wrong time, and they don't have a gun, and 3 dudes run in with ski masks, and, like, let's just say it's a gang initiation, and you gotta kill somebody, or you at least gotta rob. I'll tell you a personal story. My friend, right? I went to high school with him. He was not a quote unquote bad kid. He's a stupid kid who made a stupid decision with people who weren't his real friends, right? And he went to go rob the Chinese man with a gun that he got illegally, right? Shit went left, and he ended up shooting the guy, and the guy passed away.
Right.
So, like, he didn't go there to do that. He went there to just take the food and the $100 that the dude probably had in his pocket. But, like, now he's sitting in a prison cell most likely for the rest of his life. Now, if that guy had a gun, he would have been able to at least protect himself, because his wife was in there and everything, had kids in the back. Like, it was a really messed up situation.
So the guy that did the shooting,
Right.
he got the gun. So
He has the gun,
Right.
But he didn't buy it. No one bought it. They got it illegally, and it's scraped off the serial number. Like, you know what I mean? So that's just where I stand with that one.
yeah, no, I don't want to make this into like a gun.
No,
thing.
but that's the
but I
whole-
just think that I believe that it's just not black and white.
No, it's
Everything
not.
needs
Yeah.
like driving.
Yeah.
Some people just cannot drive.
They can't drive.
Right? And I
Right.
think some people should not own a deadly weapon. It's just like, and I don't understand why when people say that, you're like, you're a libtard. I'm like, what are you talking about? I just don't want to get shot
'Cause there's a bad
I'm at a
connotation on it.
podcast because someone's just heard something he didn't like on a podcast and decided to come in and just shoot up the damn studio because he didn't like what we said. Like it's things like that. Where it's like
You'd never be able to like gauge that. Like people are crazy.
other countries, they gauge it very well. We got the gun problem.
I'm
Other
gonna-
countries, other countries don't have this problem.
I'm gonna be honest. My capstone class, we had our debate was gun violence, and I got put on a random side. I ate that debate up, just so y'all know. But I did a lot of research, and the reason why those other countries like don't have as much like I guess crime rates that we have is because they absolutely don't have laws, gun laws. And I'm not saying like gun law.
They absolutely have gun laws.
It's not. It's not as extreme. Like, so our states, like, obviously there are some states where the gun laws are like shit, like completely like just not there, and then there's ones where they're extremely strict, but nobody's realizing the pipeline. Like, I can easily go to another state and get a gun and bring it back to Jersey, and I know like they do track it back. Like, I could get in obviously a lot of trouble, but that's how everyone's getting illegal guns. Our problem is the gun laws are being so like dramatically thrown on the table that people are going against it. In other countries, they're not thrown in the face like that.
No, in other countries, they have your name and they come and confiscate guns if they think that you're a problem.
Well, it depends on which countries we're talking about. Like for example, the EU might not have a gun problem, but they have a stabbing problem. Their crime of choice is robbery by stabbing. Everyone's got a shank, everyone's got a knife, and you know.
Now imagine if the gun problem was shit there, then it would be a
Well,
shoot.
if they
more
had
people, because let's be real, knives don't kill as many people as
No, because you got to get up close and
firearm.
personal, right? You got to
Right.
so you have to be willing to risk more. In this country, you have to be willing to risk less because you can shoot somebody from afar. But at the same time, when you disarm the populace, that's like the whole point of what guns is. Like we have to like, in my opinion, we have to get away from like the person on purpose person crime with guns and look at the bigger picture. Like the point of having a Second Amendment is to defend yourself against a tyrannical government. And I think in the last couple of years, we can see like it has definitely been a lot of tyranny in certain places in our country and in the world, right? Telling us how to do certain things, how we should live our lives. Not saying that the gun question is going to be the end all be all, but would you rather be in that situation with an armed populace or a disarmed populace? Like crime, civilian crime aside, in a tyrannical situation, would you rather be armed or disarmed?
armed.
You'd rather be armed.
No, well,
Solely in that context.
I just want to drop my kid off at school and not worry about.
I understand, but that's the civilian context. I'm just saying.
I mean, is that too much to ask?
No. It's I'd ask, all right. I have my biggest anxiety is stepping outside and getting shot. My biggest anxiety.
Only in America.
I literally
I've
went.
never felt that way.
I literally.
And I've been in some shitty situations.
My problem was like, school shootings became extremely huge in my generation.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't do
In my
gun
high
drills. You did gun drills in your school?
Yeah, like
I don't know what that's like.
why
We
did-
always did. gun
But
drills.
can I hit you with something real
Yeah.
quick? People had guns in the 80s. We didn't have mass shootings in the 80s like that. Okay? It was only until the gun laws were being stripped down by conservatives, like things that were in place in the 80s. People had guns in the 80s and in the 90s.
Right.
We didn't have this problem then.
Now let me ask you a
But-
question.
We didn't
Go
have
ahead,
this
go ahead.
problem.
Have my voice
But
cracked.
our biggest
Edit.
issue our biggest issue is A, social media, B, mental health illnesses are out of control
Yes.
nowadays.
That's what I was gonna say. In the 80s, we did not have the mental health crisis that we have
Yeah.
today. And well,
it wasn't
it wasn't as bad, and it wasn't
Because baby
as
boomers,
public.
they're all terrible.
Hold on.
Okay.
It wasn't as bad as it is now, and it wasn't as public. Now it's cool to have a mental health
Yeah.
breakdown. It's trendy. It gets you followers.
It
Let me tell you
does.
something for me personally in the fitness world, right? There's this girl that I saw on Instagram. When I tell you I have never seen such horrible body mutilation in my entire life.
That's awful.
I'm talking from her waist to the end of her kneecap, just like horrible slices. All right. And this chick has like 3 million views. I mean, 3 million followers, hundreds of thousands of views on all her posts. And you don't even want to read the comments. Right. So like, why is that? Is it because people care about her, or she's just not normal? Right. She doesn't look as like everybody
she's a train
else.
wreck and people
Right.
want to look.
And people want to look. So that's what I mean. It gets trendy. And then everybody else wants to do it. I remember when I was growing up, that was what was cool.
Yeah.
Everybody will cut themselves. That shit's not
Yeah,
cool.
But
I do believe that the mental health thing is being triggered by the social media thing.
100%.
Like social media has run rampant, and it's, you know how back in the 70s when cigarette people went to Congress and they were like saying, hey, we don't think this is bad. We don't think this is addictive. And then many years later, we find out that it was very addictive, and you knew it was ridiculous. You were making this.
They were being
addictive.
paid
Right.
to say that.
But they knew it was addictive.
Yeah.
That's exactly what's going on Instagram, TikTok, all these. They know it's addictive.
Yeah.
That it's like, this is like, for some reason in this country, bro, it's like they make money off of poisoning us, and then they sell you the cure.
Yeah, of course.
It's like Heinz. Heinz was bought like Weight Watchers. So it's like, okay, you got clogged arteries. Well, now we're gonna sell you Weight Watchers.
Right.
So I'm not sure, but right now I don't think social media has figured out what they can sell you to help you deal with your social media addiction. But I do know that right now social media is the source of everyone's anxiety right now, from politics to social to feeling like feeling that you're alone. Like, there's so many lonely people. This is the most like loneliest generation.
And you know what's ironic? We're the most connected we've ever been in human history.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It is crazy.
It's crazy.
I'm definitely guilty of social media like ruining me. And I tried to be like, oh my God, I'm going to go on a social media cleanse. I physically can't. I delete the app and can't even last 2 hours, and I'll go back on it. And now I'm in a mental blockage again. Like, I realized the nights that I fall asleep watching on TikTok, I don't have TikTok anymore. The nights I can go to sleep watching like reels or
Count your
something.
blessings.
The nights I go to sleep like watching reels or something, I wake up the next day miserable. Like I'm upset all day long, and it ruins a lot of relationships. Like, I can wake up in the worst mood ever. Like, my family can admit to this too. They will look at me and I'll be like, "What are you looking at? Like, don't talk to me." And it honestly, like, it hurt. Yeah. Jacob can, like, lately I'm gonna.
Her little brother's like.
Like, lately, like, I love my dad to endless, like, forever and ever and ever, and he saved my life. But I've been catching like attitude lately, and I realized like I am physically like not okay when it comes to being like. Right now, my biggest issue is definitely social media is ruining my body image. And, like, I physically cannot handle that as an individual right now, because I love who I am until I go on social media. And then I'm like, now my whole day's ruined.
There's
And
Comparison is a thief of joy.
It is.
Do you, I mean, I'm not asking this to be a dick. I'm just like, do you read books, or do you like?
No. I tried, and I think I have, I don't even know what to say I have, but I could read like a paragraph and go to the next one, and I don't even know what that last paragraph talked about. And I have to go back to it, and it's just a cycle. And then it gets me frustrated. So then I just don't read because
Right.
But then I catch myself like obviously reading online, but then I catch myself reading stuff online that is literally effing my mental health.
There's a really good book called Digital Minimalism, where it really does break down how they're engineering social media to keep you like this.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not saying that it's easy. It's not easy, because even me, I'm not addicted, but I do like I check my DMs more, because that's like my new texting.
Yeah.
DMs is like our texting thing now. Like, why are you texting me? DM me. You know what I mean? It's
No, for
crazy.
real,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
It's our business card. It's all those things. But I definitely have found different techniques and ways to just pull back from the scrolling, because I notice I'm a filmmaker. I write, I direct, and I can't just be like
But
I'll never do anything. I'll never do it. So it's like at this point, it's by necessity, if I want to continue being a filmmaker and I want to do something hard, like write a 120-page script, it's like I gotta just go, okay, I've checked my thing. I'm putting the phone down. I'm gonna do this. Let me go. Maybe I'll go take a dump and I'll look at my phone and that's it. You know
but
what I mean?
also like your generation compared to mine, like by the time I was 8 years old, like iPhones, you had Kik, you had
Yeah,
Snapchat,
sucks.
you
I
had
know,
Vine.
I know.
Like I was literally 8 years old on Facebook. I had MySpace at like 7. What am I doing on MySpace?
MySpace.
Like that's the thing. Like before I even went through puberty, I was already touching social media.
Yeah.
Like social media didn't really hit like your generation until like, I'm not saying this to be like rude or anything.
No, be
but,
real.
like,
Come on, man.
Until like you were a lot older and you were mindful of real life. Like
Yeah. I remember life before social media.
like
So do I.
It was freaking awesome.
The shit that's going viral on TikTok today was we were doing that 10 years ago on Vine. Like
yeah,
it's so
I
that's-
loved Vine.
Yeah, that's
Vine,
why.
such a missed opportunity.
Yeah. I
Twitter
know.
really just let
But
that
we-
shit die.
I
And then
know.
TikTok was like, hold my beer.
Yeah, exactly. but it wasn't monetized as much. People weren't
Yeah.
able to make as much money as they could now.
Remember Bat Dad? He made
Yeah.
money.
Bro, that shit.
He made
well,
money.
That's true. But when you're
The
a mega star
Tides.
like that, you feel me? You'll make some money. For me, what's helped first of all, I've never really had that issue with social media. Like I've never I don't post too much. I don't scroll too much. But like, I just try to be intentional.
Yeah.
Like I try to go on the social media app for a reason. Like if I'm on my fit, and I have different pages for
I have my
different things I like. So
Yeah.
I get different algorithms. Like I know if I'm on my business page, I'm getting business content. You can't piss me off there.
Yeah.
You can only give me ideas. If I go on my fitness page, I know like first of all, everything on the fitness industry
It's
is fake.
It's
Everything
so
is fake.
fake.
Like it's so and like so fake.
Like what? I'm curious.
Okay,
Oh
so,
my god.
Help
like-
me here.
Don't even get
All
me
right,
started.
so like
Because I follow
yeah.
the fitness people.
All right.
I'm gonna try to.
So, as a girl, there's girls that will literally sit there and like move their body to make their butt like look huge, like suck in their stomach to make like their abs pop out, and like in reality,
Call them out, Jules.
like no, literally these fitness influencers are not influencing anything but body dysmorphia. You're not influencing me to go to the gym. You're not influencing me to eat healthy. You're influencing me to fake my body.
Also, I thought it was like the people that work out on social media and then they kind of show you
Some
like
of them
workout
don't
techniques.
work out.
Well,
Some of them don't work out.
Some of them, what they do is they will have looked good for a period of time and filmed tons of content during that time period and just recycled the same shit for months. And then like,
And then one day you see them in person,
and
they're
it's
like,
like, yo,
20
you gained
pounds.
40, exactly, and you look totally different. Even on the money side, right?
Right.
Like you'll see people who you think like they have like 1 million followers, and like that's a lot of followers and hundreds of thousands of comments and likes and all this shit. And then like they'll go to, let's just say, a car dealership to try to buy a car, and they don't have any money. They don't have any credit. It's a fake. It's all a facade. So
Listen, the
it's-
Joneses ain't got money either. So don't worry about keeping up with them.
So it's just so crazy. Like, and on top of that, everybody, because now it's so cool. You know Sam Sulek, right?
Yeah.
All right. That's like our generation's, like, I don't even know, Jay Cutler. Not even Jay Cutler, but like even though they've done collabs and stuff, but like Jay Cutler is a name that you'd know. But
He's a quarterback.
no, oh my goodness.
Oh, shit.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, all right. So I'm not the only
So
one.
you know Ronnie Coleman.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, Ronnie Coleman.
My brother's over there like eating this conversation.
Jay Cutler beat Ronnie Coleman with the quad stomp. It's like this famous like move that he pulled. Anyways, but Sam
Showing
Sulek is
my
like
age.
a young he's like a young industry influencer.
I think
but
he's
like,
younger than me.
Probably. How old are you?
22. I think he's 21.
Yeah. So he's 21, and when I tell you this kid blasts the craziest steroids, like he looks amazing. He looks amazing. Don't get me wrong, but like he blasts so much steroids. My boys used to tell me about him, and I really started paying attention to his content.
Yeah.
And he'll say some shit like, he'll go to Wendy's after a workout and say like, remember, you're not eating Wendy's. You're eating 50 grams of protein, 60 grams of carbs, and 30 grams of fat. And it's like, bro, what are
about
you
the
telling people?
pesticide?
Like, if I blast as much tren as you, I would look crazier than that.
Yeah.
So it's like, but that shit goes viral, and all the kids eat it up and think that they can do the same thing. And like, so she was saying with the body dysmorphia, it's the same thing with like boys too. Like all the dudes in the gym that think they look like shit because they see someone like that. It's like, oh my God, but he's telling me I can look like that if I eat Wendy's. And it's
then-
not true. It's not true. And even if you had a perfect like eating regimen and you worked out and you got your rest, you're still not going to look like that because he's taking synthetic drugs. Like it's not authentic. That's what the fitness industry has become. Everybody just blasts trend to go viral, to get the physique, to sell you a product. You know, have you ever heard of the Liver King?
I have, yes.
That's a perfect example. You know the Liver King. Everyone knows the Liver King because this dude was like pushing sleds full of rocks in Dubai with no shirt while swearing on the cross that he's like on no steroids. And like he would like post like weird ass crazy shit. He took the internet by storm. He would eat like goat balls or like cow liver.
Like testicles?
Just testicles
Yeah.
in his hand and eat it on camera. Just raw.
Oh, God.
But it was
Yeah.
going so insanely viral. He would have like this he looked like a Viking. Picture like
yo.
I'll show you after the pod. He looked like, we got to put a picture of Liver King on the screen right now. And it's like, yo, his skin was red to the touch. Like, you know, like when you have high blood pressure, how you touch your
oh
skin.
my
That's how
God.
much how much shit he's blasting. So anyways, this goes on for like probably a year and a half, where he's just taking the internet by storm. He's doing collabs. He's flying all over the world. He would sit at like this massive, that's him right there.
What's that? Oh, my God.
It's ridiculous.
It looks like an AI photo. It, looks
doesn't-
fake.
But it's not. And
It's
he's
yeah.
holding whatever that is, a big kidney of a cow or something, and he will eat that entire
He
thing
also-
on camera.
he also
And he
eats the
juices, huh?
tongue.
But that was the thing. Everyone's like, oh my God, are you really natural? Because he was, whatever this thing was called, like the tenements or something like that, he would sit at this long wooden table with his wife and kids and like eat just massive plates of organs. And like, to somebody who doesn't know what they're looking at, you'd think like eating all these exotic items, like, damn, maybe you would be able to look like that. Anyways, he had a falling out with one of the people who supplied him his drugs, and that guy leaked all the emails. And then it fell all apart. Like, this guy's buying like $4,000 a week in all kinds of.
But
steroids.
it seems like this, like I feel like steroids is not even like I'm not saying it's good. I don't.
growth hormones.
Yeah. I'm just saying, but it seems like it's so common now. It's been common so long. I know a guy that he's an anti-vaxxer, but he does growth hormones. So it's like,
Well-
it's clearly in their mind. They think they've completely convinced themselves that it's not that bad. Like what
Right,
the
but-
culture.
Yes, that's true. But my problem was he was misguiding. Mind you, a majority of the people who followed him were all young people. Like they were young, 18, 19,
And young
20.
people don't even need.
They don't.
No,
They'll ruin your endocrine system long before you get
crazy.
to half of his age. This is a grown ass man doing
Yeah,
this.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
so, and like they were like, people were swearing to God that they like this would work, and they were like ruining their bodies, ruining their lives, and like
Wow, that's terrible.
it's
But I
crazy.
just know. I think the culture of growth hormones, they've convinced themselves that that this is normal. You know what I mean? Like I went to one of these bodybuilding things, and these people are completely happy, and they're completely like have convinced themselves that growth hormones is something that's safe, and it's just a normal part of their lives now.
But like it also makes them different people. Like if they're not hitting a PR, they're angry at the world. They'll curse you out. You look at them the wrong way. They're people who are on those things are very angry people. Like they
Yeah, he was angry. That guy.
they're happy in the moment. Like like I'm gonna go compete now. Whatever. And if they don't hit that PR, they will literally start like their personal brawl with all their emotions.
they'll get in fights, they'll smash weights, they'll throw
Yeah.
shit at people.
That's why
Like-
so many gyms are now like not encouraging slamming weights anymore. You can like I go to Powerhouse. That is a powerlifting gym, and there are signs all over now that you cannot slam your weights because Powerhouse is full of fitness influencers who are on juice, and they'd be like, me and my brother.
Temperatures flare.
Yeah, we go at like there's times where they're at 2 a.m. and there's fitness influencers hitting like 700-pound squats screaming. Like, that's not normal. And then you also have people who don't find ways to get juice and they're getting abs implemented
Yeah.
inside of them.
Yeah.
Who?
Oh yeah, Drake did some of
I'm
that.
crying.
Drake, did he do that?
I'm
Yeah,
crying.
I remember he kind of did some of that. I remember like Charlemagne called him out on it years ago, back
But,
when
like,
they had their beef.
The
It was
problem
funny.
is if you get those abs like implemented inside of you and you're working out, you're gonna disform them. You're physically gonna disform them.
Yeah.
There's a video of this one guy and his abs are literally sitting like where like my uterus would be, like sitting there, like just flabbed, like sucked down, like they're not formed anymore. And you could tell that they were put inside of him because obviously natural abs, like if you gain weight, they're gone.
Yeah, but see, this started before social media. So what do you think contributed?
What started before social media?
Just juicing and this obsession
Well-
with body. Like what do you think really drew this this obsession with the perfect body?
Well, I know like they post like a lot of 70s and 80s ads of like what people look like at the gym. Like it was still like on commercial of what's the perfect body to look at the gym. And in the 70s and 80s and 60s, like the things that I've saw, like pictures, like my parents growing up, like pictures of their friends. I don't see one overweight individual like during that time. So it was just surrounding them. Like everyone was put in that mindset, like you have to be a certain weight. You have to look like this. I can't walk into a gym if I'm like 116 pounds. Like women literally barely weighed 100 pounds during that time. So that was their influence. Going outside, going to local gyms like that probably, I can't speak for them. I was obviously not around. But that probably would influence them to be like on track of that. I can go to the gym every single day and I can look around. And if I notice somebody is slightly overweight, slightly trying to lose weight, looks like me, I'm going to be like, frig, we're here. We look the same. We're lifting the same. Like, we're healthy. I can stay how I look. Not saying like we look horrible. I'm just saying like somebody who weighs like 125 with abs and like muscles and their quads are like sticking out, and then like me, I can like I could squat like, I don't freaking know, Jacob, like 180 and I think that's cool. But if I look at somebody else who's skinny as hell squatting 205, now I'm gonna go home and try to do that.
So yeah,
It's more of like your surroundings. Like I guess because the gym culture is so everyone at the gym like is friends with each other. So everyone influences each other. So if I'm in a friend group where everyone's cutting, I'm cutting. If I'm in a friend group where everyone's bulking, I'm bulking, even if I don't want to.
Yeah, I guess I work out just because I shoot. I'm a producer, and I have to lug my own equipment. And man, you start feeling that in your back. So I work out just so I have the stamina to just, all right, let me lug these C-stands. Let me hold up this camera. Let me hold the Ronin all day. Yeah. Let me like if I don't do that, then I can't work. Yeah, bro. Like I'm 45 years old. I need to be like, yeah, bro. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. So it's like for me, it's about survival, bro. Because I'm married, like I don't gotta look good anymore.
That's like your influence.
Yeah, my influence is just being strong.
Exactly.
To like, all right, I did a full day of production today and I made it through. I didn't hurt myself. Like this is really what it should be about. Can you hold yourself up through the day? Can you run from a zombie apocalypse? Yeah. That's really the goal here. Facts. Just once that happens, if you can just lift yourself up off the edge of a building and from a movie I saw. World War Z, some shit.
I just feel like society nowadays is trying to play this picture perfect life, and it's not perfect at all. Yeah. Like again, like going back when I was in school, like sororities, I thought it was the coolest thing ever. I joined one. It is not cool at all. It was the worst time of my life.
Well, maybe that sorority's bad. That was just a bad sorority. My wife is in a pretty decent sorority. She's in a sorority, and I've known a lot of sorority. Like I've been in that Greek culture back in my day.
You were in Greek life?
I was involved in Greek life, but
What-
I did not.
what'd you do?
But I didn't. I was 6 weeks in pledging, and then they tried to play some weird mind game,
Oh,
head
what,
game with me.
hazing? They haze?
Of course they haze
Oh,
me.
they haze.
Right. But it was.
That's
I'm
the
not gonna
problem.
say. I'm not gonna say who they are, but they did try to play. But what was stupid on my part is that I was a young dad. I had a son when I was 21 years old. So I had no business pledging a fraternity to begin with. Like I should have been going to school and then the weekends taking care of my son. And I was trying to be involved in a fraternity while I was living on campus. While I was, I was trying to do too much.
I have a question. What is the point of a fraternity? Like I never understood that.
I'll say this.
What
for
do you gain?
So for a Black and Latino fraternity, and specifically when you're in a white dominant school, you want to be amongst your people.
Wait.
I would say that's why. That's why I did it.
You were pledging a multicultural
Yeah.
fraternity.
Yeah.
Okay. Those are great. You
Yeah.
can do a lot with those.
Yeah.
I'm talking about
Right. Exactly.
I'm talking about
Yeah. Y'all rush parties are great.
All
The
right.
white rush parties
I'm
are
not
great.
gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie.
They're lit.
I'm not gonna lie. The party life was
Yeah.
insane. It was
Yeah.
fun, but my Greek life was like everyone. Who's effing who? Who's this frat's groupie? Who's that sorority's groupie?
Yeah,
like
that's to
That's
be
crazy.
expected in college.
it is.
My
But
point
like,
is
Greek life is presented for community service. Like I had a philanthropy, which was feeding the homeless.
I wanted to stroll, but good. I just wanted to stroll.
Yeah, but like we did not feed no homeless. I'm gonna be so honest with you. Like,
no.
that-
Yeah.
that's what we
It's an
preach.
excuse. The community
Yeah.
service shit is bullshit.
Then you have another
Yeah.
sorority who preaches a NAD, which is it's for anorexia. It's to like promote like awareness. They make their sisters become an anorexic.
Oh my God.
So like Greek life.
why would anybody want to be a part of that?
That's crazy.
Like when you
Because-
find out that that's what goes on, how could you
because
keep
it's
a community like that?
I'm gonna be
together?
honest. It's like
You're making a lot of sense, man.
you're like
I mean, I just like what?
you're like. You're
But
basic-
did you think like that when you were that age?
Listen, I can never relate to a majority of people's stories because I feel that I'm so different from the average person. Like I first of all, I don't get influenced easily. Even when I was young, even in high school, like I never cared. The most that I cared about in my high school, was the kind of shoes you were wearing. In my school, people will look at your, even if I grew up with you, people will look at your shoes before they dap you up. So
No,
my
I
thing
used
was
to
just
get-
have a fresh pair of kicks.
I used to get judged for my shoes sometimes.
Right, but
yeah,
that's,
you did
yeah.
but that's a societal
Hold
thing.
on, because
It's a societal thing.
I
we
literally-
look at someone's shoes and we
you judge them.
Yes, absolutely. So what do you think of my
no,
polo
but
boots?
this was 15 years ago. Those are fire. I like polo boots. Come
Okay,
on,
okay.
pull it out, bro.
Hey, baby.
You
Okay,
feel
okay,
me?
yeah.
But it's like, that's 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Never would I have been in a situation where any of that would have happened, and I would have just immediately been like, all right,
I'm gonna tell you why.
I'm out of here.
I'm gonna
Screw
tell you
all
why
you
I
people.
did it. All right. I grew up in foster care. I didn't feel like I belonged to anybody. I didn't feel like I didn't belong to any group of people. I felt like an outcast.
Like friends, you mean, or like?
No, I was a foster care. I was a foster kid.
Right.
So I just felt like I didn't belong with anyone. I was living with a woman that was not my mother. That when I was like, she was like, when you're 18, you got to figure out what you're going to do with your life because you can't live here no more. So it was like when I ended up in college, I got very lucky. I went and still got to go to college. So it was like joining a fraternity was just like, maybe this is what
I see.
I'm going to need. So it was part of my upbringing. So some people, it's based on their upbringing. You come off a very confident man. You probably had your father in your life.
I didn't.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, then you even stronger than I. You a real
On the
one.
contrary, my father came to my. I'll tell you a funny story about my father. He came to my charter school. He came to live with me when I was in charter school, and they had this.
I got so
stupid-
much more respect for you now. Go for it.
Yeah, I appreciate that, bro. I single mother, man. My whole life is just
God
being
bless
my
her.
mom's.
Yeah.
So the one time that when I was a little bit older, what is this? I think this is like 7th or 8th grade. He was homeless, and my mom gave him the benefit of the doubt and said, "All right, well, come here, live in our house, get your shit together, and you get to be in your son's life." Cool. He's an alcoholic, so he's no good, and he I got expelled from the charter school for a stupid reason because they had a point system there, and like that was a very new setting because everybody there. First of all, I'm coming from a public school, so like I never understood, and we didn't have a lot of money, so I had to buy like uniforms and shit, and everyone there is like smart. And like I'm smart, but this is 20 years, not 20 years, whatever, 8th grade me. So I'm not as confident as I was, and I didn't know as much as I do now. So, but they had a point system where you can't like chew gum, because and like just stupid rules like that. And I just gathered enough points, and I eventually got kicked out. My dad came to the school to clear out my locker. When I could have cleared out my own locker, but he wanted to make a statement. He went there drunk, and I was cool with the security guard. Like me and him were like cool like that. So like he told me like, bro, like this dude just like pulled up, like smelled like alcohol, and he was like trying to fight the principal, and like he had all your shit in a bag, and just like embarrassed me. You feel me? So like I really forgot where I was going with this story. But.
So I mean, yeah, like you
Because you
just
said,
talking about, we were talking about how, sometimes we look for things to fill that something's missing.
Right,
You know what I
yes,
mean?
right.
I said, you have like great confidence. You're like, why would you want to do that? And then I'm like, well,
right.
maybe his father was in his life.
Right,
Mine
right,
wasn't.
right,
You know what I mean? So,
right, yeah,
but,
right, yeah.
but, I think that sometimes people do that because they want something filled that they feel might be missing,
yeah.
even though you might be just fine.
Right.
Well, you're right with that because I was so against sorority. I went into college. I'm like, I'm not joining one. Hell no. The way it was portrayed in movies, I know movies are movies, but I was like, hell no. And then I made 4 really close female friends, and they all rushed. And I was like, well, now I just lost my 4 friends. And I was a commuter at the time, but also like I have a sister, but we didn't grow up together. So like I never actually got to the experience of like having a little sister, having a big sister. Like I love being a big sister to my brothers, but my brothers get along together with boys stuff, and I never got to really relate to a female, like close female like that. And my friend group growing up in high school, there was 12 of us and only 2 of us were girls. So we just presented ourselves like one of the guys. So I was like, I'm going to go to college. I also went to college with somebody I was dating at the time. So I was like, I'm not making any new guy friends. Like, I need to make female friends. So I joined one, and I loved it in the beginning, but I forced myself to like it. I forced myself to go out. I don't like partying like that. And I got very attached to the party life. And then I realized like that's not who I am, but the sorority made me into partying. Then it got to me like wanting to get along with people and people liking me. So these girls were going to the gym. I started going to the gym. I never went to the gym before I joined a sorority. Then I realized that they were all into like drinking on Tuesday nights, going to 8 a.m. classes. I started drinking on Tuesday nights, going to 8 a.m. classes. Like it was more of like
It
me.
was awesome.
That's wild.
It was awesome. I'm sorry. It was awesome.
It was definitely an experience, and I'd live with no regrets. Obviously, it was a time and place where it didn't work out for me, but at the same time, like it was definitely something missing in my life that I needed to fulfill, which made me feel like I was a following. But then I tried backtracking and tried making them follow me and like lead my way, and it backfired on me because nobody liked who I actually was because they weren't around my culture growing up. Like when I was in high school, like if you talked crap about somebody, like you were getting slapped. You knew you were getting slapped.
Yeah, you should have slapped someone.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm probably not being a good inspiration.
No, but like
it would have been shit. It would have been on site.
Yeah.
Chick, I'm going spreading posts about me and showing people of my shit.
No.
Oh, it would have been. Man.
Like you said that about
It would have been on site.
in high school literally would be like, you said that about me, all right, you're gonna be in like science in 7th period, I got you.
Yeah.
But like in college, like it was like, you said that about me, all right, now they're gonna go cry because I called them out on it. And then I'm like, girl, like you
That's so
literally
crazy,
said
man.
it. You said it, and now I'm trying to confront you, and that's the thing. They didn't like confrontation. So I realized I was putting myself in a situation where I was trying to fulfill empty spaces in my life, but that wasn't what I was missing. What I was missing was actual people who understood me for me, and I was just trying to get them to understand me. But they weren't understanding me. They were understanding the image I was portraying of them.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what it comes down to. Like, I learned that through that, because I remember how I was talking about how people used to look at your shoes before, And like, as I was growing older, I used to realize like, what this is all just material. I, w- when you start going through maturity and you start to like have deep conversation with yourself and be comfortable with yourself, you realize like you have to be comfortable being alone, because when you're alone, you find out things about yourself that you can't find with other people, because people always rub off on you, whether it's good or bad. They'll always, like, we're always influenced by our
Yeah.
surroundings. So spending time alone and finding out what you really like, what you like to eat, what you like to listen to, or if you like to read, or if you like to play video games, like those kinds of things, they're like little context clues.
Yeah.
So like for me, and I've not that I've always like thought like that. Over time, I've been like that, but I've always been okay with being alone.
Yeah.
Like I don't mind it. Like I like my peace.
Oh, I love it.
And
Well-
My wife's like, I'm leaving for the weekend. I'm like, oh, great.
right, you
I'm
know,
gonna watch movies
Yeah.
all
100%.
weekend long.
You feel me? And that's what you like to do.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
like,
yeah. I love my wife though. I love my
no, yeah. Some people can't do that though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Some people need that constant stimulation from others, and they're willing to change their whole personality just to make other people happy. And
You have to
Well-
have the courage to be disliked.
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm gonna like relate off of that because I don't like being bothered at all. I would rather do my own thing. But because I was moving away from home and didn't know anyone, like I felt like I had to go and chase people to, you know, be my friend, and I felt like I was begging a lot of times. Not to be my friend, but more of like, hey, like I reach out to you a lot. You're not reaching out to me,
Right,
like
yeah.
whatever. But then at the end of the day, once like a day went by and we weren't talking anymore, I realized I did not care at all. And it was more of the fact that I was just trying to fit in a place that I don't know the culture over there. I don't know how people grew up over there. I don't know what happened when they were in school. And most of my friends, they're all from the same area. And then I say I'm from North Jersey. And like I said, getting called ghetto because I was from North Jersey was diabolical, like insane. Like, because I don't even know can they even give me the definition of what that is? Because probably not. But regardless of the point, like now I realize I'm back home and my friends want to hang out, and I'll be like, what excuse can I use? Because I don't want to go out. Like I don't want to go
Well,
out.
yeah. I mean, I'm gonna challenge you to try to go out, because I think that, I worry about people your age. Like
Yeah.
my son too. My son's 23.
Yeah.
Because I know that, like, my son was trying to take remote. He goes to Montclair,
Okay.
and he'll try to go to remote classes. I'm like, no, you're not. You're gonna take your ass to college physically, and you're gonna engage with the world, okay? Because you have to engage in the world.
If I do end
Yeah.
up, when I do end up going out, I find myself being very social. I have to just feel out the room.
Good.
Like
yeah,
I
yeah,
read,
but of course,
I read the room.
I'm not saying to, like, because we all have a social battery.
No, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I
Once
mean?
mine is dead, I
Yeah,
have,
it's
I
what
have
I'm
to go
going.
home.
Yeah. But I definitely push young people to go experience life. Sometimes take a chance.
Get
meet
off the
new people,
internet.
Get off the internet, because I
Yeah.
think the internet is
fake.
trying to convince us that we don't have to go anywhere. We have everything we need right here. Dating right here. Friends, they're all right here. And I'm going to give you something that's sobering. From your time in high school, how many of your friends, how many people are you still friends with from high school?
1,
College?
0.
0. Okay. For me, I would say that I'm still friends with I had a lot of friends in high school.
Well-
I only have 2 of them. 2 of them I probably still talk to occasionally. In college, I had a lot of friends. I probably only talk to regularly 1 of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I've had a lot of friends in my time. And it's like, that's exactly what's supposed to happen. You're supposed to
Yeah.
weed out all these people,
So
and then the ones that really like stick out are the ones that
Yeah.
you're really gonna treasure.
exactly. So like, with high school, basically like I was in a friend group where people like dated people, so it just didn't last.
That never works out.
Yeah, like I can't be friends with my best friend's ex, whatever. But like whatever. But in college, I guess I was so set on the fact that I did not enjoy being there. I just wanted to get out of there ASAP that I kind of like I didn't let those people go. It was just more of like, if you want to reach out to me, reach out to me. I'll check in on you. We can be cool. We can be on the same terms. You want to go get a drink, fine. But I'm not going to sit here and call you my forever friend. unless you show me that we could be forever friend, then fine. But I'm not begging anymore because I realized that was not me. Like going to TCNJ, it was a God's blessing because I learned so many life lessons that I'm gonna take with me forever. But I was not Julia in TCNJ like at all. And I realized that most of the people there are just playing a game where they're just trying to figure themselves out and they're not their true colors. So maybe one day I can run back into these people and we can actually have a better bond when we're I think I'm very mature for my age. When they're more mature, pat myself on the back. But at the end of the day, like, yeah, I have friends. I do go out. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I be partying. Like,
Good.
I'm not gonna lie. But
Good.
there's times where I just don't want to. Like,
Man, that's good too.
yeah. But at the
Don't
same,
run your battery out, man.
yeah.
Rush it.
But I have two great best friends.
That's good.
And that's
good.
all I need
all you need,
because
yeah.
I have my one friend that I can go and grab Chick-fil-A and chill in her room, and I have my other friend where we're like, what nightclub are we going to next?
And you got your sibling.
And I got my sibling. That's my best friend.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know, that's really all you need.
Yeah.
Like over the years, you collect people, you let them go, and the ones that really check on you when it matters most are the ones.
Exactly.
But it's gonna be a very small, tight. So my son, like I'm working hard to help him. Like he's on the autistic spectrum, so he's very awkward. So he's just a very genuine person.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you wanna go out? Do you like this movie? Do you want
Yeah.
to talk? And people are just like, whoa. You know what I mean? It's like, and I tell my son, like, dude, you're doing the Michael Myers thing. You know what I mean? You're scaring people. Because
Social cues.
Right, the social cues, but he is so, like, he's got so much to offer. He's got a good heart. And I think now he's getting the idea, like, yeah, I haven't met people that are looking for me because he's tired of looking for people. That's what he was doing before, you know? And it's like, this is something I'm seeing now that he'll just say, you know, yeah, I haven't met anyone that I feel is checking for me or looking for me. So I'm just, you know, I try not to freak him out. I just want, you know, but he just wants to engage with the world. He's got, you know, he just,
Is he in any clubs? Like I feel
that's a good question. He wants to do the LGBT club.
Yeah.
So I hope I'm like, bro, just engage with the world. Go do that.
Once he opens up into the same setting, like I joined club lacrosse. I never played lacrosse a day in my life until I joined that.
I
and-
tried.
Oh, I
I
love it.
sucked.
I loved it. I loved lacrosse. But I realized all of them got along because they knew lacrosse. But they were willing to help me. And once I got on the same topic, now we're all cool. So like if he joins a club where everyone's on the same page and has something in interest, like it's gonna be a lot easier.
Does he like
for
video
him.
games?
He likes music. So
Okay.
he's studying music. He likes choir. He's a big
I used to play
Broadway. Yeah. He likes.
Me too.
He played trumpet. He played trumpet in
Oh,
high
even
school.
better.
Yeah. So he's very musically gifted. He kind of like ignores his gifts sometimes. I want to wring his neck, but you know, but
In time.
he loves music, and you know, and he's just very. So I'm like, look, engage with people in school that like music too. Like, that's what college is for. That's what college is
Yeah,
for.
yeah.
The college is for is to engage with people that have common interests.
Yeah.
So then when you graduate into the world and you grow up in whatever it is that you do, you're still engaged with these people and you work
Exactly.
together.
Exactly.
Like I think sometimes people forget that's what college is for. The education is one thing, but it's like I know like a bunch of actors, my friend Bill, he was in my film. He's friends with Lupita, freaking Winston Duke, like all these actors, and I'm like, how do you know all these like famous actors? He goes, we all studied at Yale together, so we ended up working together. And I'm like, that's how filmmaking, people going to film school,
Yeah.
music school, all types of college. So, you know, and I tell that to people all the time. When you go to college, find a tribe that's in your major because you never know. Those are the people that are probably going to present you with opportunities when you're out of school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what I tell people.
For real.
That's my TED Talk.
100%.
Honestly, yeah. Like going to college, I'm so grateful I got a degree. But
What did you study?
criminology, I'm gonna go to the police academy.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You'll be a mean ass cop.
Thanks.
That's
man.
right,
Glad you
man.
guys think
Arrest
that.
the shit out of somebody.
Yeah.
Damn it, man.
But
All right.
I do think it was a great way. A lot of people take like gap years in between high school and
Yeah.
college to find themselves, but I feel like college makes you find yourself. And I feel like it is a great way before starting a adult life because now that I finished early, yeah, I have to start my life like now. Like, not obviously like I need to be making this, buy this, do this, have this house.
No,
like,
but you just got to be
like,
working towards something
exactly.
until you get there.
So like I'm glad the 3.5 years I got to figure myself out, figure what I wanted to do. Probably still don't know what I wanted to do, but you got to give everything a try.
Yeah.
I just think everyone should have the opportunity to go to college, let loose, find yourself, because we do end up going through one last growth, and that is during your college years, is when your mind really starts hitting the freaking fan, and like you realize everything around you is becoming real, and now you're trying to mature that time frame and all of the above. So college is definitely a great way to persuade people into leading themselves into the real world, because I did not think college was the real world. I just thought I was in like a
It's not.
like
College is not the real world.
like-
It's not. It's like college is like that weird thing that when you get out of high school, you still feel like you're too young to be an adult. So you're going through this next phase to kind of help you transition into adulthood. And then, and then you just realize that it's just like a social experiment to see how you're going to do
Oh yeah.
like as an independent. Like I remember my freshman year in college, and I realized, oh man, I gotta like do my own shit. I gotta figure this out myself.
Yeah.
I had a big cry over that shit. I was like freshman year, and then I called my best friend back home, and she was like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, "I gotta do all this myself. Like this is crazy." But it's like it just helps, but it's kind of like, it's not as blunt as right after high school, get your own place and figure your shit out. It's like kind of like, all right, I'm still in school, probably want to do the laundry now because someone's not telling me to do it. You know what I mean? It's kind of like it's the lube
See,
into when you're getting,
when I went to school, I had a full ride to Kane. 25-minute commute from home. Could have lived at home, didn't have to pay any bills, but I was so stubborn on the fact that I needed to be independent. And I went to school and I lived in a house. I paid rent, I paid utilities, I had to buy my groceries. Like
what a shock.
I was taking care of myself in freaking college, like not relying on my dad, not calling my dad to like, hey, buy me this, hey, buy me that. I was working, I was going to school. Like, I was living what I thought was a real life scenario to prepare myself for, like, actual paying, like, a full rent. Because clearly, like, I'm not paying full rent at school. Like, I'm living with other people. But, like, at least I got to prepare myself. And then I realized that there were some nights I found myself in a basement partying and drinking, and then I was like,
those are the best.
And then I'm like, I know. And now I think about it, and like I'm home and I'm working full time. I go out like every other weekend, and I was like, earlier I literally sat there and I thought about it, and I was like, it's Thursday, like it's Thirsty Thursday, and I'm not going to a basement. I'm coming to work. I'm gonna do a pod, and then I'm going to the gym, and then I'm going to bed. Like, it's crazy on how a month ago I was partying in a basement, and now I'm literally trying to get ready to go to the police academy and start my life.
When do you start?
I right now they're in a class. It's until June, so I'm assuming the next one's gonna start in July. But all the surrounding towns are starting to hire now. But I already applied to my town, so I'm set. Like,
Right now, it's hot to be a cop.
yeah.
So, take advantage.
Exactly. So I'm assuming like March, April, they'll probably start like, like the training for PT, the drug testing, all the fun stuff.
Can you smoke and be a cop?
After.
Not initially.
After you get, it depends what department, and it depends if you're a state cop, you can't because you're working for the union.
Ah.
But like no, you can't even for county cop. You can only do it for townships. I don't think you could do it for cities either.
Imagine getting pulled over by a cop that's
High.
blunted as fuck.
No, load I don't. No, I'm joking. But cut that out. No, but like, yeah, I realized that because in school, like, my zen was, hitting it and then going to sleep and then worrying about my next day. Now I literally I have to make sure I'm not doing that, because it can stop me from going into the next class, because like I have to, if I come out like even a little bit dirty, like at all, like I would not be able to get the job. But once I'm through the academy, and they do random testings in the academy, they will randomly pull you out and make you go pee in a cup.
Wow.
Yeah. But once I'm out of it, I'm pretty sure it's not very strict. But like then again, like I haven't done it in so long it's been like a month and a half. That's really long for me. But I don't have the need to do it anymore.
Yeah,
Like,
I used to smoke like a chimney. I used to smoke a lot of weed. Like in college, high school, like when I was 13 I started. Like I smoked with my dad. He was like, you know, cuz he wanted to smoke in front of me and not have to hide.
Yeah.
So he would just be like
yeah.
So then I started smoking and then all the way and then once I got into like filmmaking, I was just like I kind of just want to like focus on filmmaking. And then that's when I just stopped. I lost interest. And I realized, I was never addicted to this. I just smoked like all the time. Now, if I try to smoke now, I can't handle it. Like, you know, and edibles, Jesus Christ.
So
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
I get hangovers from edibles, like
So
because I'll take half and I'm like, oh my god, it's been like an hour. Where is it?
So
So I'll
when-
take the other half and now I'm dead. Like
the
dead body.
The last time I took an edible, I was in Yankee Stadium.
I'm crying.
And it scared the shit out of me. It was like everyone wearing the same thing.
Yeah.
Thousands of people wearing the same shirt and hat. And I'm just like, why the fuck is everybody wearing this shit?
Yo.
And then I'm like, I'm wearing it.
Edibles do like
Yeah, man. I was just like, nah, this is like, I was like, look at this, we're just a fucking bunch of slaves. It's a brand. Oh my God.
that's funny.
What's wrong with me? What's wrong with everyone?
Yo.
I just had like one of these moments like, oh my God, I'm not an individual.
All right, so I do have a story.
The Matrix is real.
Steinbrenner!
Yo, bro.
So one day, I was like I think it was my sophomore year. I think it was my sophomore year because it was geometry and I had a test and I was like, I really need to focus. And I took the wrong strain. I took the wrong strain and the freaking test was like scaring me because I'm like sitting there and this was at the time where I had to do proofs. Like, do you guys know what proofs are?
No.
Like you have to explain how to get from one side of the triangle to the other side of the triangle, but it's like paragraphs and I'm like, I literally was like, what's going on? And then I started like sobbing and then next thing you I started sobbing. So
The teacher's looking at it like, what is all this wet tears on the paper? What is this?
I went to the bathroom and I'm like, all right, I have to get myself together because 1, my dad's gonna kill me. 2, I'm gonna get like expelled from school. 3, like I can't fail this test. And I went back and I winged it and I got a C on it and I never smoked before a test ever again in my life. Like that was actually like, I don't know. So for me, like sativa makes me hyper, but it makes some people sleepy, like calm. Well, I freaking decided to take sativa because I was like, I'm gonna be calm. Like I'm gonna take this test and be calm. No, I was like sitting there like jittering, and I was like going like this, and I was like,
way.
oh my god.
Okay, I got a funny weed story. All right, so my wife and I, we were in the car, and the car breaks down on the FDR. Like, and it's like it's the switch, so we can't even do like the blinkers. So her aunt comes with her husband, and just to like help us with keeping cars away from like running into us while we wait for the cops to come. So then her uncle gives me like the pen, and I'm like, like nothing's coming out. Nothing's coming out. And then and her uncle's like, dude. So I'm like, what? He goes, bro, you just smoked so much hard shit right now. Like, bro, get in the car. So then cops come.
Oh,
And then my wife looks at me.
I know you.
And I'm like this. And she goes, now sit across the street while I deal with the cops.
They're done.
So I had to go across the street. And I'm sitting on the steps like,
I'm crying.
Just looking around.
While she's dealing with the cops, she's looking at me like,
Do you know what's
you fucking crackhead.
Do you know what's the worst though? Like being high in a room full of other people who aren't high.
Yeah.
Because
Paranoia.
I can't do that.
That's why I can't smoke.
Because they're all looking at you like,
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
guy's fucked up.
And
Look
then,
at him.
And then you start laughing like crazy, and now they're all like,
What the fuck are you laughing at?
and then you start sobbing like
And-
I do.
Oh, God.
God, it's the worst.
Wait, so you laugh until you sob?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I'm definitely, when it comes to drinking and smoking, I laugh for a long period of time, and then I become very emotional, and then I cry myself to sleep, and then Julia's gone.
Oh, man. That is not fun.
I do the Irish
That
goodbye.
doesn't sound fun.
Goodbye.
Irish
What happened? Where's Julie?
dead body. But yeah.
Oh, man.
To be honest, the reason why I started in 7th grade. Dad, you didn't hear anything. But I started it because in 7th grade, like, I was going through, it was a really hard time in my life, like, a lot with my personal life with my mom and stuff. So,
That's the first time you mentioned your mom
yeah.
in this whole pod.
Yeah. I know. I love my mom, but, like, you know, back then it was hard. We have a cool relationship now. Like,
That's
we
good.
do. But, like, back then it wasn't good at all. And anyways, so it was a really hard time. Like, it was like, you know, custody fighting, whatever. And I didn't know how to deal with it. How old are you in 7th grade? Like 13, 12?
Yeah.
I didn't know how to handle that. My parents were never together to begin with. And now I'm dealing with this like 13 years later of you guys not being together. And I already know you guys aren't together. So why am I having to go through this?
Why I got to put with this? I didn't ask to be here for this.
Yeah.
Shit.
So my friend was like, here. And then I got into it, and then I found myself like kind of using it as an escape to a lot of things because I didn't know how to cope with any of that. Like, I'm 13 years old. I'm just trying to go to school and play softball and da-da-da, whatever. But then I didn't smoke from like my sophomore year to junior year of high school. I smoked from 7th grade to sophomore year. But sophomore year to junior year, I did not smoke at all because of that geometry test. And I went to the eye doctor, and my freaking my pressures are skyrocket. They're like hitting like 26. Your eye pressures are not supposed to reach over 20. You hit 26, and you're gonna hit glaucoma and tunnel vision. I know this is like a weird switch.
Wow.
Well, I found out the cure or treatment for glaucoma is weed. So I was like, I'm gonna save myself, and I started smoking weed again, and then I was just like, I went back to the doctor and my eye pressures were low. So that's why I kind of like stuck with it again because I was so scared of being blind or having tunnel vision and like, you know, like not being able to see life.
That's weird to go through that at such a young age with the eye thing.
Oh yeah.
What was it? Was it like hereditary or something?
I was a very overweight child, and because I was eating so much sugar and drinking soda all day. Like, you know what my day used to consist of? Before school, I would get a large iced caramel latte, extra pump of caramel. After school, I would get it, and then I would drink like 3 cans of soda before I went to bed. Like,
Holy
that
shit.
was way too much.
It's like 400 grams of sugar
Exactly.
a day. You're lucky you're not diabetic.
Caffeine.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say.
Well, that's another thing. Like, then
he
I
was
went
knocking on that door.
Yeah, then I went to the doctor, and then, you know, they were like, listen, like, you got to watch a little bit. It is, like, running through your family. But nobody ever had problems with their eyes like that.
Yeah.
But it got to the point where, do you know what vertigo is?
Yeah.
I get really bad vertigo.
It's scary. I did
Yeah.
it once. It was
Like,
I turn and the
Yeah.
room goes like this.
Yeah.
And it's like this.
Yeah.
This is like what is happening?
yeah.
And
And then
yeah, it was
the
crazy.
migraines go like this. But, like, it was all because of my eating habits. And, like, marijuana was the reason of my eating habits.
Yeah.
So even though I thought I was treating my glaucoma that they said I was going to have, I was making it worse because I was getting the munchies and I was eating it.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, they do say that marijuana can be used for medical use, which I'm sure it does. But, like, my case, like, that was not it at all because, yeah, I dropped my eye pressures. But now, like, I'm going to the doctor. I'm getting told that I'm borderline diabetic because of what I'm eating.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, it was treating one thing, but starting another thing.
Yeah. I don't know. I think weed now is I wouldn't trust weed now because now that it's mass produced, you know.
Well, you do
You
know.
just gotta get it from a dispensary.
Yeah, I mean, like,
that street shit's not gonna fly anymore.
well, isn't it the street shit that was probably better than the
Now
dispensary
it's all
shit?
sprayed shit.
Really?
It's all cheap weed now. I mean, honestly,
Do you smoke?
I don't smoke.
Okay.
I used to smoke a lot in high school with all my dumb friends, but I would always get paranoid. Like that was my problem with it.
paranoid.
I just like I'd start smoking and I just want to I want to go home immediately. Like I just want to go home and be alone in my room, listen to music or play video games.
There's no fun in that. People that just stay home and smoke weed by themselves, like, you know.
For me, I'll drink. I enjoy to drink.
Okay.
Like even now, like
Alone, or you like
casually.
casual? Like,
I mean, I could drink alone too. Like there are days
Okay.
where I just feel like Saturday night, I'm done with everything I have to do for the day. I just want to go home and have a drink and relax. But
what's your choice of drink?
it depends on where I'm going or what I'm doing.
You're a whiskey drinker.
Yeah,
aren't you?
whiskey.
When am I?
I love good rum.
Jack
You
and rum,
you drink
Jack
beer.
and Coke.
Ugh.
You don't drink beer?
Oh.
I don't know then.
Yeah.
What's you drink? Come on, you see everything. The youngest always sees everything.
He got that Four Loko.
Oh
I'm
no!
crazy if I ever catch him drinking a Four Loko. Fun fact.
That's the most disgusting.
Fun
thing
fact,
ever.
I did not realize how bad Four Locos are and that they're 4 servings in one can, and I shotgunned a whole
See,
can before.
I remember when Four Locos first came out, and they had to make it illegal because it was caffeine and that shit.
Yeah.
People were having heart attacks.
Yeah, people were dying.
Yeah.
And then they brought it back, but they kind of like, okay, let's pull back. Guys.
switched it up.
Let's
They switched
switch
the
it up.
formula. Yeah, bro.
We'll just put,
So I used
sweet and low.
no, literally. I used to be a Malibu Baberies girl.
Oh, I like Malibu.
Yeah, but
Very
this,
sugary.
this summer, I fell in love with Don Julio.
Oh, Mr. Julio.
Yeah, he acted Julio.
Hey, yo.
There's your viral moment.
No, but yeah, I was going crazy with tequila. I still drink it, but you know what my go-to drink is now? Amaretto and Diet Coke.
Huh.
I
gotta try that.
Oh my god.
That sounds amazing.
It tastes like Dr. Pepper. It literally you're drinking sorry.
Amaretto and Diet Coke.
Diet Coke.
That does sound delish. That does sound good.
We went to Jamaica in January and everyone's drinking like hard liquor, taking shots, and I'm over here sipping on amaretto and friggin' Diet Coke.
Yeah, because amaretto is it's smooth too.
Yeah.
So it doesn't even give you the hit, But yeah.
Amaretto's mostly used like a very traditional Italian dinner. Like after you eat, you usually digest with amaretto.
Okay.
Like it's not something that people go and party and drink. But I'm gonna make it a trend, guys. Guys, drink amaretto and Diet Coke, aka Dr. Pepper.
Oh, that sounds amazing. I never thought about that. I mean, and it might even because I'll drink a Diet Coke sometimes if I don't want to drink too much sugar.
Yeah.
You know what I do in movies? I'll mix a regular Coke with Diet Coke. Like I'll go in the bucket and I'll just be like, let me just do half, so at least I feel like I'm not doing a whole bucket of Coke.
Yeah.
Because you have to have Coke and popcorn in the movies. You have to. But then also Diet Coke has that aftertaste. But I think the amaretto probably kind of
It's really you should try it. And then let
totally
me
gets
know.
rid of that. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try that. Yeah.
definitely.
I'm a rum guy. I love all types of rum. I love doing all crazy things with rum. I went to
Yeah.
Puerto Rico recently. I went to the Bacardi factory.
Oh, that's dope.
Oh my God, it was so good. They made you eat this certain kind of rum chocolate with the special kind of rum. I brought back some, and you get the little coconut ice cube. You put it in. It's so freaking amazing. So I'm just I'm a rum hoe.
You said
straight
you're
up.
Jack.
Yeah,
you
I like
said?
Jack and Coke.
Yeah.
Jack and Coke.
Jack and Coke's good. Well, I do Diet Coke, but that's just
I like
'cause-
tequila though too. I like the Reposado Don Julio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Dos Equis. Not Dos Equis. I mean, Dos Caminos.
What's
Not a
that?
fan.
Mm-mm.
Is it Dos Caminos?
Casamigos.
Casamigos.
I don't like Casamigos. I also my
So
favorite
expensive. Yeah.
my favorite tequila is Terramana. Oh my god. It is literally $10 a bottle. That is the best tequila I've ever had in my life.
I don't know. About
Okay.
that one.
All right, I got one last funny story, and it has to do with Don Julio tequila.
Go for it.
Okay, so me and my son's mom, we had no weed, and we wanted to get drunk. We wanted to just be messed up, right? My son must have been had to be under 2. He was younger than that. He was still kind of a baby. He crawled, and I remember she was like, "We only got double shots," so she was like, okay, let's just do 3 double shots. Bang, bang, bang. All right. After the baby falls asleep. So we did. And then she was living with her mom at the time. Her mom wasn't home. So I did 3 double shots. She did 3 double shots. And then my son wakes up. I was like, fuck.
No.
So then we're like, all right, keep it together. And he because I guess he wasn't feeling too good anyway. So he was like doing the sick crying thing. So I'm on the rocking chair with my son, and I'm like trying to rock him to sleep.
Oh man.
And I black out. Right?
No.
So the only thing I remember is my son's mother's mother saying, "What are you doing?" Now, mind you, I had a robe on. And I guess somehow I went to the bathroom without the robe, and I went into her mother's room thinking I was going back to sleep. And I just walked over there with no clothes on. And I woke up, right? I woke up and I ran. I was like, oh my God. And I ran back. And then I was like, yo, you got to tell your mother I'm sorry. Like, I don't know why I walked in there just now, but I just walked in there right now. And so she went. She spoke to her. She comes back. She goes, "Where's the baby?" Bro, for a solid 5 minutes, we were scouring the house for this baby. We cannot find this baby anywhere. And found him sleeping under the rocking chair. Yo, it was the scariest thing I ever experienced in my life. It was the scariest shit I ever seen in my life, man. But it was just like, thank God, it was like a rug. So I must have just dropped him.
He just said,
God.
I'll fall asleep here.
I must have just dropped him, and he just slept through it, and, because he was sick anyway, and it was a rug. But he's alive and well at Montclair right now.
Good. Good.
Don Julio.
Really active Julio.
Your ad can go here.
Hell, stupid.
You're at here, y'all.
Don Julio, sponsor me.
Yeah. Oh, God, it's awful. I can't believe I just said that story. It's a classic. To this very day, because I'm not married to his mom, but I remember there were a couple of times when I have, she has mentioned it, in passing.
That's funny.
Yeah,
Hey,
funny.
do you remember? I try not to.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, that's a story to end on.
That's funny,
But
yeah.
Any reflection before we rock out, or are we done?
I
I
think
think
that was
a good
that
way
was
to
a
end
solid
it.
Okay.
first
Solid
pod,
ending.
and that was a really great conversation.
Yeah, it was a great combo. I like y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me on
Of
this.
course.
Good stuff.
Bye, guys.
Peace.